Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Jay at From Heroes to Icons, and we are back yet again this week for another must-have comic book list. This week we are covering the comic books for June 29th, and it's a pretty nice week for books, not as hefty as it used to be, and I guess they must have been in accordance with Comic Con, well, the wannabe Comic Con, or what they're calling Comic Con at home. But it's a great week to be a comic book collector. I hope everybody got their Batman 95 and all the other good stuff that came out. They're free comic books, and I'm still trying to get a hold of that one per store variant of the Ranger Slayer. Love Dan Mora's art. And there is a nice that spoiler variant also was pretty dope. And for those that don't collect Power Rangers, I wasn't in the beginning, but the book, besides the foil variants and all of that, book is dope. Book is dope. Definitely much darker than the Power Rangers that most of us know. And I guess everyone is aware of the Comic Con at home. IDW had listed some of their exclusive variants, and they disappeared. Super quick. Jumped on eBay and they're selling the Ninja Turtles book for $400. So I guess if you're looking for any of these Comic Con exclusives, as soon as you know the panels go up or whatever, look for those books. I know Key Collector app has been throwing up links for several of the different books or whatever. I believe today they'll be covering Image. Most likely by the time this is up, it'll probably be too late. So if you're looking for that Crimson foil variant for Negan Lives, you better hop on it. Most likely it may be too late by the end of this recording. Alright, we're going to jump into these books. First, we're going to do the free comic book day books. We have Stranger Things Minecraft by Greg Pak, Stephen McCrane, and Gabriella Anala. We have Batman Overdrive, Batman Tales, Once Upon a Crime. I know Dustin Nguyen is doing the Once Upon a Crime. I don't know if he did the interiors, though. The Boys #1 by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. And last book, Archie Blue Ribbon Presents by Nicole Ostow and Brittany Williams, amongst a few others. Heading over to the Indies books, we only have two, both of them under the same title. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 107 by Sophie Campbell and Nelson Daniel. Nelson Daniel is doing cover A, Kevin Eastman is doing cover B, and Alex McArdell is doing cover C, which is an incentive variant. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Annual 2020 by Tom Waltz and Adam Gorham. Gorham is doing cover A, and cover B is by Kevin Eastman. And I believe this is the book that disappeared on the IDW Comic-Con exclusive. Going for $400. It's insane. Anyway, moving over to Boom Studios, we have Ghosted in LA #11 by Cena Grace and Soban Keenan. Soban Keenan is doing cover A, and Cena Grace is doing cover B. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 52 by Ryan Perrott and Danielle DeNulio. Jamal Campbell is doing cover A. Goni Montes gives us the foil variant, which I believe is sold out at Midtown. And Chris Anka is giving us the card variant, which I believe is 1 in 10 or 1 in 25. Alright, we got Image Comics here. Ascender returns with number 11 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. I believe this series and the series prior before that has been set to debut somewhere. So think Descender #1 is still going for like $20, so grab it if you can. Dead by Road Bad Blood #2 by Justin Jordan and Ben Tesman. I didn't get the first series, but the first issue of Bad Blood, it was insane, man. Definitely an FX series at its best. Die #11 gets a second print. It is the cover A with like a red maroon background. Definitely great to have in a collection. Definitely slappable. Lost Soldiers #1 by Alice Cott and Luca Casalanguda. Very nice. Mercy number 4, written and drawn by Mirka Andolfo. Andolfos is doing cover A, and Giuseppe Camicoli is doing cover B. Spawn 308 by Tom McFarlane and Ken Lashley. I believe this is the first book of Ken Lashley's run on Spawn, and you should be excited for that. Tom McFarlane is doing cover A, Ken Lashley is doing cover B, and Francesco Mattina is doing cover C. That Texas Blood number 2 by Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips. Phillips is doing cover A, and Duncan Figueredo is doing cover B. Witchblade number 1, the 25th anniversary edition by David Wohl, Christina Z, and God rest his soul, Mike Turner. Maybe one of the best that Mike Turner has ever done. Get 1, get 2, get 3. Moving over to Marvel Comics, we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 45 by Nick Spencer and Ryan Otley. Cover A is by Jose Maria Casanovas. Cover B is by Mark Bagley. And cover C is by Gabriel Dell'Otto. Cable returns with number 2. Jerry Dugan and Phil Noto is doing that. Phil Noto is doing cover A. Cover B is by David Yaron, which is a zombie variant. And cover C is by Ariel Avalati, which is an incentive cover. And Cable now has one of the 10 swords. Captain Marvel number 9 by Kelly Thompson and Corey Smith. Jorge Molina is doing cover A, and Dan Moore, once again, is doing cover B. Empire number 3 by Al Ewing, Dan Slott, and Valerio Schittai, or Skitty. Jim Chung is doing cover A. Cover B is a double action figure variant. Cover C is by Alexander Lozano. And next week, make sure you get that Lozano variant, because when number 4 comes out, fire. Cover D is the Tony Daniel variant, which they're calling the Kree variant, and that is of the Super Skrull. Cover E is by Mike Cho. That's the Fantastic Four variant. And Ed McGuinness is doing the incentive variant. Okay. And number 3 also has a second printing with a very, looks like a political poster or something of Hulkling. Whack. Anyway, Spider-Man Noir number 2 by Margaret Stoll and Juan Ferreira. Dan Raposa is doing cover A, and Dan Panosian is doing cover B. Star Wars Darth Vader number 3 by Greg Pak and Raphael Inco. Cover A is by Inhuk Lee, and cover B is by Chris Sprouse, and that is an Empire Strikes Back variant. Star Wars number 3 is getting a second print, and that book has the same cover with a little bit of a color difference. Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality number 5 by Peter David and Greg Land. Greg Land is doing cover A, and Ron Lim is doing cover B, and Alex Suvak is doing cover C. The Hot book, Thor number 5, is getting a second print, and I believe that has a version cover of the splash page from inside. X Factor number 1 by Leah Williams and David Boldian. Cover A is by Evan Chevron. Cover B is by Emanuela Lupacino. Cover C is a design variant by Tom Mueller. Cover D is an incentive cover by David Baldion. Cover E is an incentive cover by Mitt. Cover F is a Hidden Gems variant by Larry Stroman, and cover G is the yellow blank incentive variant. And when they have the color variants like that, it's usually a 1 in 100 or a 1 in 200. Last book for Marvel Comics, we have X-Men number 10 by Jonathan Hickman and Leno Francis Yu. Leno Francis Yu is doing cover A. Ryan Brown is doing cover B, and that is a zombie variant. Phil Noto is giving us an Empire variant for number 3. For cover C. Patrick Zurcher is giving us a confrontation cover for cover D. Kel New is doing cover E, and Mike Mayhew gives us I can never remember this woman's name. The Weapon X girl. Whoa, Can't remember the name. That's a shame. It's cover F. Let's move over to DC Comics, shall we? DC Comics. We have Batman Superman number 10 by Joshua Williamson and Clayton Henry. Clayton Henry is doing cover A, and Ricardo Federici is doing cover C. DC Cybernetics Summer One Shot. And obviously this has various artists and writers on it, and I believe there's supposed to be something special about this book. I don't know if it's a first appearance or anything like that, with a $10 price tag on it. And make sure you get it. It just may disappear because it only has one cover. Legion of Superheroes number 7 by Brian Michael Bendis and Ryan Sook. Ryan Sook is doing cover A, Alex Gardner is doing cover B, and then we have an incentive cover of the Gold Green Lantern. The Plunge number 5 by Joel Hill and Stuart Emmerman. Cover A is by Jeremy Wilson and cover B is by Gary Frank. Red Hood Outlaw 47 by Scott Lobdell and Paleo Pantalina. Pantalina is doing cover A and Philip Tan is doing cover B. The Suicide Squad number 7 by Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo. Daniel Sampier is doing cover A and Jeremy Roberts is doing cover B, and I believe that's a connecting cover from issue number 6. Last book from DC Comics and last book for this week, Wonder Woman 759 by a new writer and art team, Mariko Tamaki and Mikhail Hanen of Batman fame. Cover A is by David Marquez and cover B is by the infamous, most famous Jim Lee. For our covers of the week, we have X-Men number 10, the Mike Mayhew cover. Amazing Spider-Man number 45, the Gabriel Dell'Otto cover. Empire number 3, the Tony Daniel cover of Super Skrull. The Plunge number 4, cover B by Gary Frank. And we're kind of tied for the cover of the week. Both Spawn 308, the McFarlane, and the Ken Lashley cover. Must-haves for the collection. For our books of the week, we're going with Empire number 3 by Al Ewing, Dan Slott, and Valerio Schiti. Ascender number 11 by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. Cable number 2 by Jerry Dugan and Phil Noto. Witchblade number 1, the 25th anniversary edition, and I'm just going to say by Mike Turner. And Spawn 308 by Todd McFarlane and Ken Lashley. All right, people, I had to re-record this twice. So we're going to get out of here and see what we can find on eBay or at one of these convention covers or some such. All right, y'all, I will catch you at the same bat time and at the same bat channel. Peace.